Imagine an education system that deeply engages, restores the environment, connects community and industry, whilst at the same time helps government meet their goals. A new program in regional New South Wales is realising this dream. The Eat Dirt project takes high school students out of the classroom and onto the land to connect with nature, culture, community and each other, building their engagement, interest, understanding and capacity, whilst at the same time meeting the national curriculum requirements. Sounds too good to be true? Well, it's happening and it's working.
The Eat Dirt project is reimagining education with student performance and mental health of young people in Australia at an all-time low. The need for educational reform is greater now than ever.
They're saying by 2023 depression is going to be the major disease burden.
With the latest research showing how much student health and well-being directly affects performance, the Eat Dirt project is addressing the crises of our youth through project-based, holistic learning.
We want to see our students thrive and become really great contributing citizens. We want them to achieve their best. Young boys and young girls who are full of energy, they need to be out, they need to be about.
Kids need to be outdoors and moving, and when they're not, they get really irritated. A lot of them aren't playing as much sport on the weekends. Screen time has gone up, so they are sitting around a lot more. And yeah, with this kind of learning, they have to put their devices away. They're interacting with each other and communicating with each other.
It's going to be important for students to have part of their learning outside the classroom, and also pursuing a project that is context-based or problem-solving based that applies to, in this particular case, vegetation along a bank where we create an area to learn and then we create a fitness trail and so on.
The children were cleaning up the creek, and in this creek they found some carp, fish. And then I told them the story about how Gumbaynggirr people caught fish with a wattle leaf and crushed it up and made a soapy foam which took the oxygen out of the water, and the fish would come up to the top. So we did that, so they understood that the Gumbaynggirr people used to use this method to catch fish. I showed them the tools, how Gumbaynggirr people survived for thousands of years to make an axe like that.
So what we're doing is giving them tools that they can actually take action and be in control of their environment.
We need all eyes and ears on the ground when it comes to managing biosecurity in New South Wales. So it's important that kids can have an interest and develop an interest so they can be really biosecurity warriors and protect our country and their community.
We need to be finding young people to care for our land. This means getting the word out, get the kids interested, get them learning about the plants, the native plants, how to look after the river, clean up and be proud of their own hometown.
To develop students' mental and emotional resilience, the program integrates sophisticated health and well-being activities, enhancing creativity and social capability.
We created this thing called Own the Zone, and the students would clean up the area and then they'd make these nature mandalas. They'd have fruit, they cut it all up, shared it around. They also made clay cell symbols, so Bronwyn put out a scale from poo to rainbow unicorns, and they'd put their self-symbol somewhere along that line to show us how they were feeling during that day. It's all about mutual respect. Sitting in circle is all about everybody being on the same page. There's no bosses when you're in circle.
We have come so far, Erin, that you can actually sit here and boldly say, I don't know what you're talking about.
I want you to just make some art. It doesn't have to make sense to you, just make some art.
We have to create a really safe and connected community, and we do that by bringing the community in and letting the students out to work in the wider community.
Making us buy.
Developing students' intercultural and ethical understandings of the world. The program utilised nature connection activities to expand their general knowledge and awareness.
One of the nature games that Miles ran was about getting them to see what they're doing to their eyesight by continually being on a screen. So first of all, they had to tag each other with open eyes, and then they had to put a hand over one eye, and that was, you know, equivalent to looking at a screen all day. And then they had to do this, like peep through a peephole. And that was all about saying, look, your vision is shrinking because you're just really narrowing in on screens all the time.
Nature has this untapped potential if we stop and take notice of it. And what we're aiming for with that is connectedness.
I need the sun.
And then he did another exercise where they were all blindfolded and they had to follow a string for about 400 metres. It was an exercise in trust.
Primal games get the kids moving quickly, whilst building team confidence, motivation, situational awareness, and mutual support skills.
Take your time.
I worked for National Parks for 36 years, so I was a remote area firefighter. Obviously in that game it's very important to be part of a team and support each other and break down problems and be situation aware, and being able to give those to our young people these days in the environment that we live in is crucial, and I was happy to be able to give that to them in these games.
With the Eat Dirt pilot program trialled over 3 terms in 2022, its impacts upon the students have been significant.
Their level of confidence and their level of trust in themselves and each other really, really grew.
The kids that went through an expression of interest with it, they highly valued it. You know, it was the highlight of their week, and all the data that we got back from was it, why can't we do more of this? You know, we love doing this.
The growth that we saw from the beginning to the end, like some kids were more honest with each other and were more willing to open up. So they were bonding over the Gumbaynggirr learning, they were bonding over the primal games and even the yoga outdoors. And that created a lot of solid friendships. And they have that in common as well. They're like, oh yeah, we did Eat Dirt, we're the Eat Dirt kids.
I love the Eat Dirt project because it's outside learning. I improved in my maths a lot. I ended up moving up math classes with help from Dazzle, and then I learnt a lot of stuff during English, and I think I'm a better person.
But I think it's a lot more active thinking compared to just casual schoolwork. It requires more critical thinking, and yeah, it's just a lot better way to learn for me.
With the darts, you do math doing darts, so it's more creative ways to learn.
Probably the primal games.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun. We do that every afternoon.
Scavenger hunt was good.
Yeah.
Running around the school. I learned how to speak a bit. Gumbaynggirr.
Naranga.
Naranga.
That means?
Listen.
Uncle Mikulu, he came in every morning and he taught us Gumbaynggirr stories and words and just stuff about the indigenous languages.
He'd say a word and then we would have to guess what it was.
And Miss Aman would sometimes include them in the scavenger hunt, an indigenous bird call. It would be the indigenous name, and we would have to figure out what it was, or remember what it was and do it, or she would do find this Indigenous plant around the school.
Learned about the environment.
And learning what fruit and veg are in season.
Perfect. It's more fun. You get more opportunity to learn stuff than normal classwork.
It also takes away a lot of stress and stuff.
Yeah. More open space.
You're not like boxed into a class. I don't like being in spaces like that.
I came down and we started making stuff with clay and building towers with paper and like buckets, and hello, like who wouldn't want to do that while they're at school? It was so much fun and it was like such a happy day. We had a little water fight.
Your shoes are going to be waterlogged.
With the pilot program completed, Eat Dirt is now working with educators, students and industry specialists to develop a refined, cross-curriculum, project-based version of the program that can be rolled out in schools across the country.
We had different ideas come out of the day, and right now we're talking about how to combine those ideas together to form an overall structure into which different faculties, different KLAs can have their input. That's what we're doing right now, and it is looking quite good.
Clear links to biology and ecology focused topics.
Exploring local Dreamtime stories. Design, implement, analyse an element within the paddock to plate or the trawler to table concepts.
Education is all about relationships. It's about trying to engage them, both within their school and within their community, and then taking that back into the classroom then, it changes the dynamic, and so you can break things up and change their learning. So I think it's an exciting space.
I think the Gotcha for Life partnership with Eat Dirt is so exciting because I think there's potential for this project to be, implemented in the wider regions right across the country, to be honest. And the modelling is fantastic, and the people involved have such an understanding with backgrounds. There's a really wide mix of people here who have decades of experience in the school system, and talking about what we want to sort of keep from the system and what we want to improve into the future is really cool.
It's really, really important that this program be instilled, that children in all the schools in Australia are taken out in the country and taught about the culture of the Indigenous people.
We want this in every school in New South Wales. We need educational reform, and Eat Dirt can achieve all those things that government wants to see for our young people in schools, and a radical shift in our environment while still meeting the aims of the curriculum.
The future is really moving for the children, next generations, to move forward together. And if we can do that through the lens of culture and art and caring for land and country, then I think we can make a difference. Thank you very much.
Eat Dirt's partners would like to thank the New South Wales Reconstruction Authority's Bushfire Community Recovery and Resilience Fund for making this project possible.